Welcome to Karana CPQ. Let's take a look at the price resolution engine that has been built into this CPQ product. At the moment, you can see that we're using the standard price book. And if I hover over these SKUs, you will see that they are product price. And the text is fallback to product list price, SKU not in price book. We have several different configurations at the price book level to adjust the way that this behaves. This one is currently set to fallback, which means it'll go back to the product catalog and use the price that is listed there. I also have the ability to require a price. So at that point, it would not display a price. It would simply state that I am required to enter a price. We have error, which will prevent you from entering a price, but will also prevent you from saving whilst that is added to the quote. We have hide, products that do not exist. So if I select the price book and a particular product does not feature within that price book, that product will be hidden from the product catalog and from the quick add so that I cannot add it to this particular quote. And then finally, we have resolution from price book, which is where the SKU is found in the price book and it uses the price book price. We're just going to start off with where we are right now. So we've got a number of items that have been picked up from product list price, and we've got one item that is configured. If I scroll down and I click on the grand total for this line item, this will pull up my price resolution engine and show me exactly what has taken place. So using the standard price book, it's taken 12 steps in order to derive the price. We can see that it resolved these item prices from product fallback. It tells me the amount and it tells me the quantity for the output amount that it is actually using in order to calculate the total for this line. We can also see that for auto training program, where we applied a sub configuration, it's saying sub configuration. This is the sub configuration price, and I have the quantity. In addition to that, we have a powerful formula engine in the background where you can build out formulas in order to adjust things like unit price, line item price, discount levels, etc. And you can see that there is a formula that is currently executing, which is called new formula. That formula is set to adjust the unit price. You can see it evaluated for every SKU on this particular product, so all the bill of material items, and it has applied no change to any of those. You can see that it is unchanged and that it has been skipped. That means that there was a secondary filter or condition that had to be met for this to actually apply a change, and that condition was not met. But this will show you that it evaluated that rule. Very useful for troubleshooting. If we go into our configurable subproduct over here, you will notice that we have an execution trace at the bottom here. If I click that, this will show you how the price was derived for this sub-configurable item. At the higher level price resolution, you're only going to see the as configured resolution with this price here. But if you do this on the sort of sub-configurable item, you use the trace, you can see the individual steps that it went through in order to resolve the price for this. Very, very useful for troubleshooting. This can be set to be an admin-only feature. So if you don't want your staff to see that price resolution structure, you can hide it from everyone that is not an admin and then use it as a debugging or a audit tool only should you receive some pricing outputs that are nonsensical or problematic. Let's take a look at swapping the price book out. So right now we have all of these except for the configured item calculating their pricing from the product price. If I go ahead and I change the price book, we'll just change this over to, let's change it over to this one over here. And now we can see that our pricing has changed. And these are being resolved from the price book because these SKUs actually exist within the price book. If I go ahead and I look at my price resolution engine again, we'll see that it's using auto retail price book now. We're still at 12 steps because we still have 12 individual things that are being evaluated. And we can see that our pricing is now being applied from the price book. I'm going to go ahead and change this one more time. This is a different behavior from the previous price books. In this case, these products do not exist in the price book, but it has not been set to fall back to the product pricing. What it has been set to is require manual entry. So at this point, I will be required to enter a price for each of these items. There we go. And the system will go through and it'll apply the calculated pricing for these. Now, I should not be overriding that one. What I should be doing is going in here and supplying the individual prices for these sub-configured options. There we go. This is valid now because everything has a price. Click add and it'll go ahead and calculate the total from that configuration. You will see that the resolution has now changed. So we've gone from product to price book to error to manual. Because I've manually overridden these prices, the system is telling me that I have manually entered pricing. The same thing is true if I click edit and I go into this subconfigurable item. We can see that it says that I have manually entered this information. If we look at the execution trace, we can see that it resolved the pricing for these SKUs through manual entry. And then if I go ahead and we look at the price resolution for this entire product with all of its bill of materials, we can see again we have manual override that has taken place. Go ahead and change this back to the original price book. And at this point, you can see that we're still on manual pricing. The reason for that is I've actually entered a price into this field, and this portal is configured to have override pricing turned on by default. This option can be disabled, which will then mean that you cannot enter a unit price directly unless it is a price book that results in an error and requires manual entry. If I go ahead and I remove these manual entries, you will see that the system will go through and it'll re-resolve the pricing and figure out that these are the prices and it's fallen back to the product pricing. Same thing can be applied through here.